Welcome back everybody to my coverage of F1 2018 testing. It's day 4, the end of week 1, and we finally saw cars out on track again, thank goodness, after a pretty much empty session yesterday due to the snow, and it started off wet today. As you can see in this footage now, Marcus Ericsson finding out very quickly how slippy the surface was in the early parts of this session. However, the wet conditions were not to stay, and by lunchtime the circuit was almost dry and the cars started to come out with super softs, mediums, hyper softs, the lot. We saw pretty much every single compound of tyre today, which was nice to see. Obviously there's hundreds, what seems to be now, of tyre compounds, so it was definitely an interesting one, with Vandoorne even setting a very quick lap on the hyper soft tyres. But it wasn't quick enough, because Lewis Hamilton was finally on top in day 4 of testing. Mercedes' first time this week they were on top of the standings, and it's the quickest lap of the week with a 1:19.333. So good stuff from Hamilton there. He only did the afternoon run-in, which means he's still not done that many laps in testing, but I'm sure some point next week we will see Hamilton do a complete session, a complete day on his own. There wasn't many issues today compared to the past couple of days. We saw obviously that spin from Marcus Ericsson, but the big news apart from that was Max Verstappen. So he spent most of the morning in the garage, didn't really appear at all, mainly because of the weather. However, most drivers still did come out and risk it on the inters and the wets. However, Verstappen didn't. Maybe there was an issue, and then in the afternoon he came out for just 35 laps until he beached his Red Bull in the gravel. And unfortunately Red Bull did not continue with the rest of the session. So not the best testing so far for Red Bull and Verstappen, who's done a handful of laps in total really, and he's really going to want to start in next week putting in some good laps before we get to Australia, which we're in March now, so it's not that far away at all. But that was the only real big drama of the session really. And so all that's left for me to tell you guys now is the running order of the day. So, as I said, Lewis Hamilton was the quickest with a 1:19.333, the fastest time we'd seen in testing all week. In P2 was Stoffel Vandoorne in the McLaren. He's had a pretty solid testing actually, considering the limited run-in he had on Tuesday. He had a 1:19.8, so 5 tenths off Hamilton. Third was Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari with a 1:20. Fourth was Kevin Magnussen for Haas. Good effort at that from Haas, they've not done a lot of running themselves. Fifth was Fernando Alonso in the McLaren. Sixth was Carlos Sainz in the Renault, another good solid test from him. Seventh was Lance Stroll in the Williams. Eighth was Sergio Perez in the Force India. Questionable testing so far from Force India. They've not quite been on the pace. I say it every day and I'll say it today. There's a lot of sandbagging going on this week, which means times aren't really representative of what the cars are capable of, but it's a good indicator of roughly maybe where they'll be. Verstappen was 9th, 10th was Pierre Gasly, who did the most laps of the day with 147. 11th was Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault, 12th was Bottas, 13th Leclerc, 14th was Ericsson with a 1:23, and 15th was Sergei Sorokin in the Williams with a 1:31. However, his quickest time was set on the intermediates, whereas everyone else was on a dry compound. So that rounds out testing for the first week of the 2018 season. Next week we will be back for even more testing and hopefully even more drama. Today was pretty quiet, especially compared to the rest of the days of testing. Obviously we've got this B-roll footage in the background for you of today's goings on. As always, in the description I'll put down the links I use to watch and follow the testing, as well as a few channels that post up great footage of the day. So you might also be wondering why it's so late this video came out today, and that's because I've been working on my first documentary on the channel, which is all about who will replace Kimi Räikkönen at Ferrari. So that should be up either late tonight or tomorrow. I've not decided just yet, but I just thought I'd let you know that because I don't want to be uploading this late if I can help it. So yeah, that's just a little thing there from me. But guys, if you've enjoyed, like, subscribe, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.